There's 40 shillings on the drum for those who...
Hi, this is a Ridge Runner, and just doing a quick video here. We got our first harvest from the garden today, and I'm rather proud of it. We got this beautiful squash here, and I've got some turnip greens. Turnips are almost ready, actually, and I'm going to be putting some more in as soon as I harvest these. And of course steak. That didn't come from the garden. Boy, if there was a steak plant, I would be so happy. Anyway, we're going to cook up these turnip greens and see how they work. I've got the pot going already on the stove to boil them, and I guess that's how I'm going to do it. I've never really done this turnip green cooking before, so this will be a new experience for me. But I wanted to talk quick about how, if you're looking to live in an independent lifestyle, one of the first ways of becoming independent is the production of your own food. Now, obviously, the steak might be a little difficult, but the vegetables are very doable, and you really don't have to have a lot of land. In another part of this video, I'll show you the garden that I pulled these things from and what else is growing in there. I'm not much of a weeder, so you're gonna see a lot of extra weeds and things in there, but things seem to be growing just fine with the weeds. I guess in nature they do that anyway. Well, here's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to rinse these greens to make sure there's nothing gritty and nasty in there, and then I'm going to stick them in the pot. Well, as I said, I don't really know much about these, how to prepare these particular greens, but I have prepared greens before. One of the first things you want to do with greens is make sure you rinse them out good, especially when they're from the garden. But generally anywhere where greens are going to be used, there's dirt, or grown anyway, there's going to be dirt. And you want to make sure as much of that off of there as you can get, just because, and not only that, there's critters that walk around on it, and it's just better if you do it. Granted, you're boiling it, so anything that might be in there that's nasty or is going to be gone anyway. But really just get the granules off. And you want to do this, you want to be very careful to not use hot water when you do that, because you're going to start cooking it while it's just still in the sink. And it'll come out all mushy. Alright, now we take it out of the sink, like so, and we place it back here again for a second. And it's not boiling yet. It's starting to, but it's not going to be there yet. Doesn't look like there's enough water in there either. So we'll start working on this here beautiful squash. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And that was grown with my two hands right there. Yep. And none of those, there's no insecticides or anything like that in it either. I won't call it certified organic because I think that's a load of bullshit. But it is most certainly free of toxic bullcrap intentionally included in the growing process. So what you want to do, well, first you want to clear out a space here. I am not a clean cook. I am a messy cook. I leave crap all over the place. You can ask my lady. She'll tell you all about it. So we will move things out of the way so that we can have a space to cut. Now what I'm going to do here is something I always do, and I like it quite a bit, is I like to take my squash. I take a good sharp knife like this one right here, and I start cutting. Now I'm not going to be able to do that. How do I do this? Well, we'll just see the finished product in 2 seconds. Alright, as you can see, I just processed these this squash. And I'm going to keep a couple of these discs aside, and I'm going to cut the internal rings out of them because they've got seeds in them. Now, I used a non-hybrid variety of squash, so I can take the seeds and I can dry them. And at the end of next year, I can grow a whole new squash plant with this. So, I will. The next thing will be to do is we're going to fry it up on a cast iron skillet. I usually use a dash of garlic and some butter, and maybe a little pepper and salt. But there's usually my favorite ingredients in general, or at least seasonings in general. So let's let's go to work. I got my camera girl to work for me now. Thank you, Alexandria. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I was just talking about. I'm going to take these bits of wonderfulness here and I'm going to stick them in the skillet. This is a really nicely well-seasoned skillet. It's probably over 100 years old. It's not mine, it's my family's. I never consider something that's an heirloom mine because it just goes on to the next person, right? I guarantee that that skillet has never seen any kind of soap, which means that that skillet is perfectly seasoned. You might as well have better than non-stick by a long shot. And all I do with these is I take and I try to put the little ones in the middle here because I like to fill up the space. Alright. Oh, that's looking good already. It's almost as pretty as when it was whole. Alright. And I take a little salt. And where the hell is the pepper? There's the pepper. And a little pepper. You keep this simple and everybody will like it. I think our greens are about to be ready to boil. Now before you cook them, because I don't have the tallest stock pot in the world, I would just as soon on the other side. On the other side. One of the things you want to do is these stems here, they might be alright, but I'm going to cut them down, cut them off. Alright, and that means, I mean, I can use them later, I can cook them into something else, or they can make a nice, you can use them like celery sticks. No, that fell on the floor. I'll rinse that off in a second. Alright, now I'm going to cut these one more time. Alright, and then we take whole leaves, place them right in the pot. Alright, like that. Oh, that's going to be great. You hear that? That's already sizzling. Now, in addition to that, we also have this wonderful instant pasta and sauce. The pepper gets to me after a while. The good thing about these type of packets is that all they require is some water. Really, all they require is some water. They say you're supposed to put some butter in there, but you can live without it. And if you have canned butter, you can use canned butter. But this is a great option to store in your storage because of the fact that it lasts for just about ever. And you get quite a lot. These are 2 packages here, and this will feed a family of 4 for an extra side dish anyway. And for 2 people, you'll get a lot more. Yeah, get a load of this. Isn't this pretty? You've got starting to brown real nice. Now you don't want to put too much salt or anything on these things. As I said before in the Dutch oven video, I don't like cooking with lots of salt because a lot of people can't have it, and those that do may not want it. It's better to salt to taste. It's also the same goes with spicy stuff. Unless the dish specifically calls to make it so, it's probably a better idea not to just make it all spicy on somebody. Now let's go over here with our handy-dandy wooden spoon. Take a look at our greens and how they're doing. Now, one of the things about greens you got to understand is that greens boil down a lot and eat a lot of them. And since I've never done turnip greens before, and I'm not sure how much I'm going to like them, I wanted to ensure that they were something I'd want to eat. So I didn't want to take a whole bunch of them. Plus, I didn't plant a lot of turnips this year. As I say, another thing is I really don't know how to cook. I didn't really know how to plant them. I didn't know they were a 2-stage plant and that I can plant them twice. And that's something I learned a couple days ago when I was talking to a fellow gardener friend of mine. But the good thing is, this is going to be a beautiful set of greens. And now the way I do greens, and it may not be right for turnip greens, but I like a little salt, a little pepper, and a little balsamic vinegar. But didn't that look pretty? Now you want to flip these about twice, maybe 3 times. You don't want to cook them so that they're slimy. You want them crispy, and you want them on the outside and kind of ooey, gushy on the inside. That's a technical term, by the way. Ooey, gushy. Around this house, my lady's gotten used to me talking to myself. And The good thing about it is if I really have a mental illness start up, all I gotta do is walk around with this phone in my hand, and she'll never know the difference. In all seriousness, I really enjoy making these videos, and I hope you guys enjoy them too. I'm going to be doing I got a whole list of new videos I'm going to be putting together pretty shortly here. They're all relatively simple to do. And if you're on YouTube and you enjoy watching them, maybe you can look into making them. Most people have the ability now to make videos of their own. Heck, 90% of the videos I make, I'm using my Droid X for. And I really recommend that if you like doing something, and you like watching videos, and you're really good at doing something, maybe you should make them. And I think you'll find them very enjoyable. And here we have it, the finished product. Sorry about the background noise. We got the air conditioner going. It's just too darn hot out. We got this heat wave going on. Anyway, this is the finished product. These wonderfully done. I already had to try some. And the squash, and just add a little salt and pepper, and my greens are done. Of course, a perfectly done steak, medium rare. And that's good stuff. And everything we are having tonight at dinner is something we could possibly have, other than maybe the steak, of course, if there was a disaster. Steak, of course, would be substituted with some other protein, maybe a hunk of squirrel or something like that. But at the end of the day, the secret to a well-prepared household is not just getting all the food and putting it away, but learning how to cook with it. Learning how to produce your own food. These are all things that are very important. And I hope you begin doing the same things. It's a great hobby. It's a great lifestyle. And, well, this is Ridge Runner, signing off.